Good afternoon, everyone, and you're welcome to Polar TV live broadcast. My name is Mary Omokagbo, and we all know what is, going on in Edo State. It is not longer a news that people are protesting across, maybe mainly at the streets due to and so 50 people were arrested, destruction of public order. So today we'll be having some guests. I know they'll be speaking to us regarding security issue and to set, to put the record straight regarding the security issue in Edo State. While we're waiting, we already have our guests waiting. We have the person of Honorable Henry Edeaghe. That's the Federal Civil Service Commissioner representing Edo, Ondo, and Ekiti State, and former Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Edo State, from the year 2013 to 2016. And again, we'll be having Professor Edeaghe Ehikhamenor, Pioneer Director Center for Forensic Programs and DNA Studies in UNIBEN. Let's quickly welcome our guests without wasting of time, because we'll be discussing, insecurity issues, the history of insecurity in Edo State, and why to provide a solution, to curb this ongoing security issue in Edo State. We all know that insecurity issue is not a recent thing, it's not a news, it's everywhere in the country, and the president, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is working so hard to curb these menace in our society. Let's bring in our guests, then we continue from there. Okay. Good evening, sir. I think I have our guests already here.
Good evening, and thanks for having me on your program.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, host, and thank you for making it possible for me.
If you can hear me, I hope you can hear me. Good evening, sir.
Can you hear me?
Let me have.
Good evening.
Okay. This is Polar TV, and you're welcome to. Good evening, sir. Hello.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, Polar TV. I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you so much for joining us on Polar TV. And we've been seeing so a lot of, videos. It's okay. We've seen a lot of things out there regarding insecurity issue in Edo State.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Sir?
I'm greeting. I said, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you so much, for joining us on this broadcast. So let's. I want to direct my first question to Honorable Edeaghe regarding security issue in Edo State. I know you've worked with Edo State government before, and you had so much experience. So many things have happened. We all know that insecurity issue did not just start. We have our governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, just few months over a year, and I don't know, people actually want him to perform miracle to quickly solve the insecurity situation, though he's working so hard, to curb the situation. So what can you say regarding insecurity situation in Edo State before now? So before we know how to, curb this menace. So my question is to the former Attorney General of Edo State.
Well, once again, thanks for having me. The issue of insecurity has become a national pandemic. There's virtually no state in Nigeria today that is free from insecurity challenge. And this is what necessitated the incursion of the American government into our national space sometime in December when they dropped bombs in Sokoto. It is all an attempt to help to stem the insecurity challenges across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Speaking specifically for Edo State, insecurity in Edo State didn't start today, but the space has increased with the incursion of Fulani pastoralists and herdsmen into our territory in Edo State. And I want to say without any fear of contradiction that the governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, has been doing his best to confront the problem headlong. The problem of insecurity has festered for several years, and no right-thinking person would expect any government or any governor to be able to stop it in a period of just a year. This past December, we had one of the most peaceful Christmas and New Year celebrations in Edo State, with almost zero crime rates recorded. Before now, there used to be a fear and apprehension whenever Christmas or December is approaching in Edo, because there will be court wars and killings and armed robbery and murders. But in this past December, I'm sure many of our people in Edo State slept with their two eyes closed, unlike before when they sleep with either one eye or even the two eyes open. So I think the governor is doing well. But going forward, the issue of insecurity requires modern approach to dealing with it. And the governor said it I think in his visit to EKPOMA, that a lot is being done, but they are secret. There are things he cannot talk about openly. Now, we don't need to buy AK-47 for policemen to ride motorcycle to the bushes and look for bandits. This we can do with drones, and I'm happy that the Edo State government has already started work in that direction. I am aware that they have one or two drones which the police are already using, but they need more. They need more drones. Yeah. They even need drones, not just drones, because there are different types of drones. We don't just need drones that can take pictures. We need drones that can attack. We need drones that will spot these bandits in our forest and shoot them and bomb them and kill them. We need to kill these people. We need to eradicate them. We need to eliminate them. So we need these drones with these capabilities. There's nothing wrong if we can acquire an armored chopper, armored helicopter that can be stationed at the King Square, for example, in Ring Road. A chopper ride from Benin to Auchi will probably take less than 30 minutes. So if there's any problem in EKPOMA, there's any problem in Ewu, there's any problem in Ubiaza, these choppers can go there armored, they can fly low, and from the advantage area position, they can shoot and kill these bandits. We must make them realize that Edo State is not a safe haven for criminal elements, especially bandits. So to sum up, the problem of insecurity challenge, like I said, is a pandemic. It's been there before the onset of this administration. This administration has been doing its best to combat it. We had an almost crime-free Christmas celebration in Edo State, and we are looking forward to the next stage where we will fight insecurity with technology.
Thank you so much, Honorable. If you can hear me clearly. And, if we want to look into court, particularly court-related crisis in Edo State, compared to the last administration, we can see a significant, reduction in, court crisis. So I want to know, what are the, strategies employed by this present government, to reduce these court cases in Edo State?
Before Senator Monday Okpebholo's ascension to the governorship of Edo State, court issues were treated with kid gloves by previous governors. But Governor Okpebholo engaged them with bare knuckle boxing. He took off the gloves. He took the battle to the courts. He demolished their meeting halls or meeting places. He demolished houses of courts and their sponsors. And when they saw the signal, this was a no-nonsense governor. This was a governor that was not willing to tolerate any nonsense from any courts. They had no choice but to simmer down. And the end product of the policies of the government is what we saw in December, where we had a relatively peaceful celebration in Edo State. So we must maintain that momentum. But I think the challenge we have now is no longer cultists and the courtesan. that appears to have been surmounted to some reasonable extent. The challenge we have now is that of kidnappers, who are majorly non-Edo people, who are majorly Fulani men, kidnapping our people for ransom, killing our people. Those are the people we should go for. And my own advice is that we should go for them using the instrumentality of technology and not the way we used to do things before, which didn't work. The way we've been doing things before didn't work. We can't continue to do the same thing the same way and expect different results. And that's why I'm happy and I'm commending the governor for starting the process of the acquisition of drones. But we cannot stop at acquiring 1, 2, 3. We should acquire them in their large numbers. The drones can do, one drone can do the job of a whole police command because it can fly aerially and capture pictures. And like I said, we can buy the armed ones that can even shoot these people. This will prevent deployment of military into the forest and the loss of life that which we occasionally counter from their confrontation with the bandits. So I think the government is doing well, has done well, and needs our support to continue to do well and stem the scourge, the pandemic of insecurity in our state.
Thank you so much, Prof. While you are still in the, in the room, let's quickly bring in Professor. We have Professor Edeaghe in the house. That is the Pioneer Director Center for Forensic Programs and DNA Studies in UNIBEN. You're welcome, Professor. How are you doing today?
Yeah, well, thank you very much for the privilege and the opportunity.
Yeah, you're welcome to the show. We've heard so much from honorables, the former commissioner for justice and Attorney General.
Well, the honorable hit the nail on the head. Incidentally, I've interfaced with the honorable before when he was the Attorney General. I don't know if you can remember.
I remember you, Prof. I remember very well, Prof.
Okay, good. So you hit the nail on the head. At least I don't need to repeat everything you have said. But suffice to say that we are still a long way from combating insecurity. We are still very much a long way. Not the fault of the present governor. A long way because a lot of people who you believe or you think are actually inside the circle, they are just dancing around the mill. I say so with all due respect because my interaction with several of the security agencies from Abuja to Benin and other, I found that there are so many small lapses that we need to correct. From the most basic things, go to any police station in Edo State or Nigeria. How many of them do you see with the simple yellow caution tape just to secure, to condone off a crime scene? How many of them? We are talking of the simple yellow caution tape just to condone off a crime scene. So there are a lot of things that we need to, there are a lot of issues that we need to actually tell ourselves whether we are ready for. Because before a crime is committed, there are major principles of attacking it. Before the crime, during the crime, after the crime. Before the crime, do we have architecture? Do you have a biometric architecture set up? None whatsoever, as far as I know. We agree, just as the Attorney General, former Attorney General said just now, that the incursion of the Fulani herdsmen, all the people collecting waste, metals, and so on is unprecedented. And that's the more reason why we should have a biometric architecture. I don't see what is wrong with Edo State government right now setting up a special registry board for all incoming outsiders to Edo State. If you are coming to Edo State and so on, go through your local government chairman. Many of the local government executives, they are really not doing much. They can take this as a major duty. Anybody coming to their local government, let them have a biometric registration. And when they have a biometric registration with a number and so on, you need to know what they are doing. All these people pushing carts, collecting waste, bottles and others and so on, we need to know who they are, what they represent. We have given so much room to lapses. We are giving so much room to people to just come in, settle down, and think that it is business as usual. It can't be so. So we first of all need to do what you call a pre-crime preparation. Because if we don't do that, we are going to be caught off guard as we are being caught off guard often and often. What do I mean? In as much as we have secured drones, which are sometimes can be quite expensive, we want to maintain and so on. We can start from the most basic. the mini solar panel enabled CCTV with night sensor motion. If we have a mini solar night sensor motion CCTV, which are AI, the recent ones right now are AI embedded. If we have the one with AI embedded, and we have each of the local government having a master command control role, the command and control in each of the local government is now linked to the central one in Benin City, so that at any given time, they have somebody on duty who is watching the forest, who is watching the entry to Edo State. These people are coming in. We need to register the big trailer bringing them. Trailers are supposed to bring in goods, bring in animals, not bring in human beings also. The influx is too much. We have no way of sanctioning them right now because we are not even vigilant. Often you see many of these trailers with all this aboki hanging all over the place. That should not be accepted in Edo State. We need to have a mechanism to check them, to sanction them. If you bring in human being in excess of whatever number, aside animals and so on, without open trailer and so on, you pay a fine. Each trailer owner should pay a fine of 2 to 3 million. By the time that won't happen, all this influx of people will reduce. We can't have people coming from all directions into our own decision. So I think the preparation for crime, we are just so many years behind. Then the secret courts, the government have actually tried very well, but we need to take a step further. Many of the people, the secret court people that have right now been driven up and so on, we also need their facial biometric. We need to set up a special website to stigmatize them, just like what the FBI does to sexual predators in America.
Name and shame. Name and shame.
Name and shame. Beautiful. Name and shame. Because if we don't name and shame them, I don't know those ones that have been shamed. I don't know where they are located. Therefore, I might even be their victim tomorrow, another day. Maybe they've gone under and they are waiting for the governor to leave, to start up. So, but when we do name and shame, their neighbors and so on, we know they will be very conscious of them. So we need to prepare properly. That in terms of that preparation, we have not done that. Then in terms of training, we are very far behind the training.
Because of our time, let's really entertain some calls from our viewers. You can call in to air your opinion, to contribute to this program. You can call in from 081 01 2525 081 01 122525. Let me come up with the number again. It's 081 01 122525. And you can drop your comments regarding the security challenges of the nation, particularly, even not only in Edo State. While we're trying to, curb the menace in Edo State, and we will keep pushing, for us to have a better Edo and a better nation. So, like I said, if you can call in now. Let's give room for comments and call in. So while we take, you've been, Professor, you've been providing some solutions with main mention of biometric. That is a good one. That's a very good point. And I feel the government, they are listening and watching this program, and they can see into that to really know if the introduction of biometric can curb, or can actually give chance to really detect who is who in the state. And it's actually an advice to the community people, the society, especially in Edo State, to know who you are, putting in your house, who you are renting your apartment to and others. So let's take from YouTube. Let's go ahead from there. Thank you. We can pick up from Isa. So let's continue from Isa, Professor.
Okay, good. So when you now have the detailed biometric facial fingerprint of all these mobile card pushers, that is the beginning of knowing that we can zero on them wherever they find themselves within Edo State. They have to know that we are serious. And we need to train people who can do this biometric. It doesn't make sense you just tell somebody, oh, go and capture fingerprint. He doesn't know anything about fingerprint. And that is very common in Nigeria. I've gone to immigration, I've gone to NIMS, I've gone to so many security agencies and so on. More than 80% of them do not know what they are capturing. They don't even the banks capturing fingerprint. Tell them what the classification of the fingerprint. They say, that's my business, I'm to just get fingerprint. What is the sub-classification? What is the miniature characterization? If you don't know all those major features of architecture of a fingerprint, how are you not going to do comparison? How are you going to decipher who is actually guilty or who is not guilty? So a lot of training needs to be done because we are just taking it from the roadside. But thank God of recent, the Ministry of Safety and Security, headed by Honorable Professor Edeaghe, they just approved, I think, few of their people to come to UNIBEN to come and have a little bit of taste of what to do with, biometric. But that's not enough. They need to do much more because if we don't train these people, it will be a problem. Even if we have a command and control room for facial biometric, you need people to be able to read the face, to be able to compare and order. By the time the criminals see that we are very, very science-enabled and we are ready to deal with them, then gradually the incident will come down. But the way we are right now is just that if you go to Auchi, if you go to certain part of New Benin, Bahil, and so on, they are all over the place. We can use the local government. For the local government, they can call out the community leader. The community leaders, they have a role to play. And the era of saying, oh, you come to a community, you give a cow to a community head, therefore you can settle there, should be over. The government should read the route out to all those community leaders, traditional chiefs, and so on. If I hear you accepting a cow from any of these people and you are giving them land and so on, you are in trouble. We cannot play with our own security. We cannot. So we need to prepare. That is very, very important. And what is much more relevant at this stage is that no sanction being meted out to people committing even most of these infractions. During the COVID-19, recall how many people they were using to bring into Edo State, South Zone especially. If many of those trailers were stopped that time, if those people were sent back to where they are coming from, perhaps we would not be in the state we are in today. So we need to be more proactive. We are not proactive at all. That is very, very important. Then, apart from that, we need to tell ourselves, what do we do in terms of if we catch these people who are wasting our bill, what do we do with them? Yeah, the era of saying you just send them to prison, a few days later, and other come from Abuja, you release them. You are recycling them. Look at what happened in Katsina a few days ago, where they say they are releasing 70 bandits because they want to make peace with the bandits. If you continue that, you endanger the life of each and every one of us. We cannot practice that. The Edo State government needs to wake up to the reality that we are in a state of asymmetric war, and the war is real, and we have to take the fight to them. The only way to take the fight to them is via science.
Thank you so much, Prof, for your contribution so far. And let's go back to Honorable Commissioner. Commissioner, please, I want you to, give us some solutions, provide some solutions for the recent one. Now, the governor has been able to curb court-related activities and maybe court clash in the state. Now, let's go to the area of kidnapping and other things. I think before you call, Minister, let's quickly pick this call. I think we have a call from our caller. Hello? 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 Good evening. Hello? Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello? Hello? I think this caller will need to call back. We lost the call. So I want you to step in now to see how we can curb these kidnapping related activities in the state.
Okay, now kidnapping, the Honorable Professor has provided a lot of intellectually stimulating solutions to some of the criminal problems that we have in the state. But specifically for kidnapping, kidnapping thrives when ransom are paid. If somebody is kidnapped and no ransom is paid, I'm sure the kidnappers will be discouraged and they will stop kidnapping. So first is we must discourage people paying ransom to kidnappers. And for me, I find it unbelievable that in this in 2026, we still are unable to trace cause of kidnappers, because kidnappers, they try by calling the families of their victims. I know for the past 10, 12, 13 years, the Department of State Security, the DSS or the...
Honorable,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, no,
Hello?
go ahead.
Hello?
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening, what's the name and where you calling from?
My name is Idahagbon.
Oh, thank you, Ayodele. Thanks for joining on this broadcast. So what do you have, what can you say about this ongoing kidnapping and killings?
I think we are forgetting one particular fact.
Okay.
That is one of the facts that the government itself talked about very recently about these kidnappers being sponsored. They're not just people who just woke up in the morning, pick up arms and come into Edo State. This is a code.
Hello.
What does it go for? What does it go for those sponsors? I'm sure there are people who can help us get information of the sponsors because these persons, they are the bandits. They're not just 100. These persons are over 3,000, and Edo State is very big. And another thing I think we need to do is that we need to work on our boundaries. Edo State borders about 3 states. To the north, we are bordering Kogi State, we're bordering Delta State, we are bordering Ondo State, and even Ondo State at a particular point. So we need to work on our boundaries. We need to know who is coming and who is going out. We see trailers coming in every single day with cows, they're not being checked. You see people at their checkpoints, they just collect money and then allow them to move on. We need to work on our boundaries. So that is what I think we need to do, check the sponsors and work on our boundaries. And I think you're doing a very great job for trying to educate us today on the issues.
Thank you so much, Mr. Victor. Thanks for calling and enjoy your day. I think he made a point that Prof actually made the earlier on. I said we need to work on our boundary. That's a very big one. In fact, looking at Honorable, you will come in again.
Okay.
Just looking at boundary from Okola, because Okola, Kogi State, the shared boundary, that's the head of Edo State from Okola. Looking at what happens there, the rate at which we have foreigners. I am from Okola, and I can say this, not because of what I heard. The rate at which strangers, foreigners, moves into the community and through that side, on the basis of using the word that anybody, as far as you are in Nigeria, you can stay anywhere. We can't even know who is who because we are all blacks. We can't even identify this person is not from Nigeria or this person has ulterior motive to come carry out criminal activity in the community. And as we speak, Okola actually has the highest number of criminal activities. But thank God, during the festive period, we were able to record a crime-free Christmas, and New Year celebration. But, we don't need to sleep, and we need to wake up and see what can be done. Over to you, Honorable Commissioner.
Well, I was saying before the caller came in that 10, 15 years ago, I know that the Department of State Security Services, they had a device, a mechanical device to track calls. But unfortunately, that time, it was not...
You need to keep so that we don't waste our time.
Okay.
Good evening. Good evening. The call is not connecting. I think I want the caller to call directly.
Okay. That time they used to carry that instrument or that equipment from state to state. But we should have, every state should have that equipment for tracking calls. Because like I said, when kidnappers kidnap and no ransom is paid, and their calls can be tracked, and there is drone to trace them, they will go out of business. It's a question of economic principle of supply and demand. If they realize that they are kidnapping and nobody is paying ransom and they are being caught, they will stop kidnapping or they will move away from the state. Look, there are challenges. The caller mentioned about policing the border. There are challenges. Firstly, we do not have defined borders. The borderline can extend from the road to the forest to a body of water. People can come in through different places. And then the issue about people coming in through trailers, you mentioned that there are a lot of foreigners in Okpela. It will be difficult for you to stop anybody from entering Okpela because there is freedom of movement. whatever policy a government must implement must be done within the framework of the law. But the only thing, like the professor said, is that we must have a way of documenting anybody coming into Edo State. In the advanced countries, you can't do anything formal without having, in Germany, for example, it's called Anmeldung. If you are a visitor or you just arrived in Germany, you want to live in Germany, go to the council and get an Anmeldung. An Anmeldung is like a certificate to show that you are a resident in this local government area, your house address, your nationality, everything will be stated on the Anmeldung. Yeah. Without it, you are illegal. You can't get anything done. So that's why I support this idea. Let the local government council develop a methodology. And you know, but one of the problems we have too, that Germany example I gave, is that they live in houses. This annual condemned men, they don't live in houses that you and I live in. They don't live in one-room apartment. They don't live in flat. They don't live in room and parlor. They live in the forest. They live in, I'm sure they know our forest more than we do. I'm sure you, Opela TV now, you have never been to any forest in Opela. These men and women who are from the northern extraction, they know this forest more than you do. That's why we have to take the battle to them in the forest. And taking it to them in the forest, we need technology. That's where the issue of that drone, no matter how expensive it is. Thank God, the allocation coming to the states now from the federal government has increased. No price is too much to be paid for the security of life and property. That is the fundamental objective of any government. You have to secure the life of your citizens first, so that they will be alive, they will enjoy all the other benefits. All the good things the government is doing for us, all the roads, all the flyover, the hospitals, the schools that are being rebuilt, we need to be alive to enjoy them. Without security, we cannot enjoy them. So we have to make deliberate and conscious effort to procure this. And we have a lot of Edo people who are living abroad, who are experts in security. I am not an expert. Professor from his academic lining is an expert. But we have many of such experts that the government can bring together. Let them advise him on the security architecture that we should build for the state. But I agree with him. We should find a methodology for getting the biometrics of all visitors, and even we, indigenous of the state. We should have a command and control center. This CCTV thing has become imperative. On the major highways, like he said, we can install CCTV cameras on major highways. They are solar powered, they are AI enabled, like the professor has projected. We can install them. All the major cities, EKPOMA, Ubiaja, Auchi, Agenibode, Benin, Igobazowa, Usen, you can put these cameras there so that we can like the popular one that trended for the past 2 days of how they came to EKPOMA and kidnapped a guy who was driving his car in front of his house. And then the CCTV camera was able to capture the images of the people. I'm sure if there's a zoom facility with that camera, we can zoom and see their faces. So kidnapping thrives when we pay ransom and when we are able. And the professor mentioned one thing: when people are arrested and then they get orders from Abuja. I have absolute confidence in the Attorney General of the state. And I believe the governor will not yield to any call from anybody to release the criminal. This governor clearly has shown his stand that is anti-crime and is anti-criminals and criminality. So once they are caught, they are arrested. Another thing I want to suggest from the judiciary point of view, one of the reasons why these people have it so easy is that once they are caught, arrested, and arraigned in courts, their trial to be adjourned. The chief judge of Edo State should set up special courts for trying serious crime like kidnapping and terrorism-related offenses. Once these people are caught, they should be tried from day to day. What it means is that if they come to court today, the case will be adjourned to tomorrow. From tomorrow, it will be adjourned to the day after tomorrow. From the day after tomorrow, it should adjourn the next day. So that in a period of 1-2 months, their cases will be concluded. And in Edo State, the kidnapping is a capital offense. They'll be sentenced to death. Let them now go to the Court of Appeal. If they know that, because now what you have is that somebody's already come today, you adjourn it to the next 3 months. This is January. You adjourn it to March ending. From March ending, it goes to July ending. From July ending, it goes to September. So in 1 year, it gets 3 days, nothing is done, it's in prison custody. But if they know that in Edo State, within 2 months, within 3 months, their cases can be started and concluded, they will be very worried to come to our state and commit their crime.
Thank you so much, Honorable, I think we are having a confusion.
I can hear you. I heard you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you so much. Because of our time, I know you have a lot to attend to today, and it has been a wonderful media chat with you. I hope when we call you next time, you will actually, attend to us. Before we close
I am always available as long as it's in the interest of our state, the
thank
development of our
you.
people. I am always
Thank you.
available.
Maybe,
You're welcome.
just 30 seconds, I want you to give us a wrap up, message to the government and to the people of Edo State.
Is it me or the professor? Okay, professor, yeah, sorry.
Well, just as Honorable said, we can also include in that biometric all the car owners in Edo State. Car owners cannot think it's business as usual. One, all the car owners must have their unique ID card. All the car owners must subject their own staff to the same biometric architecture. All the car owners must tell us the source of their car, how they get their car, the trailer that bring them in, how many people that they bring them in. All those things, they need to be taken into consideration. Edo State needs to train the staff on ground on biometric, facial biometric, fingerprint biometric, eye biometric. There's even voice biometric, phonetic biometric. Phonetic biometric is very important in case of this kidnapping, because so many of the people, no matter the phone you use and so on, even if you change your voice, forensic experts in phonetics will determine who you are. So a lot of investment you go into training. That's my own advice to the Edo State government.
Thank you so much for that. And to our Honorable Commissioner, your wrap-up message, sir.
Well, my message is the governor is doing well. He has started well. He needs our support. He needs our prayers to continue to combat crime in our state, and then to continue on his developmental trajectory, which he has started very well. By the time the flyover in Benin is completed, Edo people don't need to go to Lagos or Abuja to see flyover. This is the first time we are going to have a flyover in our state, and we have to continue to pray for him and to wish him well so that he continue to deliver the dividends of democracy to our people. We need it. Unfortunately, we have suffered this past couple of years in our state. We have seen, we have been to hell and back. Now we have a compassionate governor that listens, that is empathetic to the feelings of the people. We have to thank God for him, and we have to continue to pray for him for more strength to deliver more goods to our people.
Thank you so much, Honorable Commissioner, for your time, and to our Prof. And like they've said, I know the governments, like Honorable Commissioner, they are still part of the government. They are listening and watching. I feel they will take from what we've discussed today, to put it into consideration to see how things will improve in Edo State. To our viewers and to our caller, thank you so much for joining in. And my message to the people of Edo State is high time we come together, to fight kidnapping activities in our state. This is not a time for us to destroy property of our loved ones, properties of our mothers that are actually struggling, to make a life. Just imagine what's happening in Ehikhamenor, looking at destruction. It affected some people, and that is their source of earning and taking care of their families. So let's come together and let's work together for a better Edo. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.